In this tutorial, we're going to spice up our room by adding volumetrics. This creates the effect of God rays or light beams that become visible as they pass through dust or mist in the air. So to start off, before adding volumetrics, we need a strong light source. Previously, in the last tutorial, we placed a light source just outside of this room. Since we're done modeling the dimensions of the room, I'm going to change my image editor to a 3D viewport over here so we can see both a rendered view and our camera view. So we can see just outside the room, here's this light. So I'm going to change this light to a spotlight, and I'm going to aim it toward the door. And I'm going to narrow its beam somewhat so that it gives us a little more of a direct light, and that looks pretty good. Spotlights, sometimes you have to bump the power a little, so I'm going to bump this up to about 2000. Okay, and right now we've just got our light coming through, the door's casting a shadow. There aren't really any volumetrics happening, but the light is also scattering around the room a little bit. So let's create our volume object, and instead of applying volumetrics to the entire world, we're going to create a specific container for the dust, and we're going to make that dust basically the same shape as the room, and so we're going to use the room itself to create that. So to start off with there, I'm going to select the ceiling, the floor, and all four walls. And just to get organized, I'm going to add them to a container or to a collection. So I'm going to tap M on the keyboard and click New Collection. And I'm going to name this collection Room. You can see all those objects are now in one collection. And just let me turn on my screencast keys here. Okay, now with all of these objects selected, I'm going to duplicate them. So Shift D, and you can see that loads my cursor with a move operation, but I don't want it to move. I'm going to hit Escape. And that creates all these duplicate objects, all of which are currently selected. So I'm going to combine those objects. That's Control J. So now I just have one duplicate object, and it picked the name of the active object when I had everything selected. That's Wall West. Let's go ahead and rename this. We're going to call this Volume. And Volume currently has some duplicates in it because there were vertices duplicated when we separated the objects previously. So let's tab into Edit Mode. I'm going to go into a wireframe view here. Tab into Edit Mode. Let's go into Vertex Select Mode and select all. And again, just a reminder, this is not selecting the walls, the floor, or the ceiling of the room. It's selecting the duplicates that we just made in the object that we've called the volume. So let's right-click, and we'll go down to Merge Vertices, and we'll choose by distance. And you can see the tooltip at the bottom here that removed 36 vertices that were exactly on top of each other. That also makes the object watertight again. So now we need to close the mesh. So I'm going to select the vertices around the hole that we cut for the door previously and just tap F to add a face. And you can see we're getting some weirdness here because this wall is infinitely thin over here. But we've now closed the door, and that closes off the volume object completely. I also need to scale this object. So let's just zoom in really quickly. I'm going to scale this by 0.999. I want it to be really close to the complete size of the room, but you can see that there's some kind of patterning happening on the wall here. That's because we have two objects in that place. Things are starting to overlap and the renderer isn't sure what to do. So we're going to shrink this down just slightly. So S 0.999, enter. All right, and now we are completely blocking all of the light in the room. So we need to go and fix that with a shader. But the first thing before, before we get going with the shader, I'm also going to get this visibly out of my way. So let's go to our let's look at a solid shaded viewport here. Let's go to our viewport display under our object properties, and I'm going to tell this to just display as a wireframe object. And now you can see the hole cut for the door again, because all we see of the volume object in this particular view is our wireframe. If we go back to rendered, then it still shows us the rendered result. We'll fix that with a shader, with a material. So let's go to our shading workspace, and one mistake that would be really easy to make right now is you can see that the volume object already has a material. Well, that material is the same material as our wall material. They're shared because we just duplicated those objects. So let's name this material. We'll call this walls, and then I'm going to duplicate it so that our volume object is not using the same materials, and we'll call the duplicate volume. And we need to get rid of anything that's going into the surface material output node. So I'm going to delete this principled BSDF shader. I'm going to add a new shader, and it's going to be principled volume, which is down here now. We'll plug that in, not to the surface, but to the volume input. Now let's look through our camera view and a rendered view, and let's kind of see what's going on here. You can see that didn't do much for us. And that's because right now the volume is too dense. 1.0 will generally block almost any light, so I'm going to turn that down to about 0.1. Okay, and you can see that the light is filtering through now, but it looks a little different. We can kind of see its path, whereas before we could just see the result of it scattering, and it's not scattering as much, it's more blocked in the room. So what we're doing here is basically creating a volume full of dust. Now I want my light to look a little better than that, so I'm going to create another object here to create kind of a dappled effect and to create some ray shadows in this volumetric cast light. So I'm going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to create just a plane. I'm going to bring this plane over here and tab into edit mode and subdivide it. We'll subdivide it maybe 60 times. So that gives us a lot of vertices here. I'm going to deselect everything and tap C to load my circle select tool, and I'm just going to kind of randomly draw on this thing where I want to delete some holes for light to get through. And it's going to be almost like creating like a forest canopy object or something that can interrupt the light. And I might use my scroll wheel to create bigger and smaller little dapples, and it doesn't really have to be super fancy. That's probably good. And now I'm just going to delete all of those vertices and then tab out of edit mode. So that gives me an object that light can kind of come through. You can see it's already starting to cast a shadow here. So let's rotate this object into place and just kind of put it in the way of our light. And you can sort of see what's happening already, that we're starting to get some character in our volumetric shadows here. And that's kind of nice. Unfortunately, you can also see the object that's casting the shadows, and I want to fix that a little bit. So, matter of fact, if I bring it forward to really get these striations in the light to look more specific, then it really starts to get visible through the door. And I could fix that by maybe moving the camera or something like that, but I don't want that compromise. So the next thing I'm going to do is add a material to my dappled light object so that the object itself will be hidden from the camera. We're going to cheat just a little bit, and its shadows and thus its volumetric rays will remain. So let's go back to our shading workspace, and I'm going to add a new material to this dappled light object. We might as well name it dappled light. And in addition to the principled BSDF node, I'm going to add a light path node. You can see it's already there. And I'm going to take this is camera ray output and I'm going to plug it into the alpha input on the principled BSDF. Now this has kind of a cool effect. You can see that this makes the object visible, but it no longer casts a shadow. And this can be a useful effect, but it's not the one that we're after. So we're also going to add a mix color node. We're going to drop it on this noodle right here. But we don't want is camera ray going into color A. We want it going into the mix factor. And then we're going to change our color A to pure white and color B to pure black. And if I deselect the object now, you can see that it no longer appears in the render, but its shadows do. And something that's kind of neat, I can actually I can play with the subtlety of the effect by choosing gray values instead of black or white values for color A and color B. So I can tone it down a little bit, or I can say, no, I want it to be really, really opaque and really get these striations in the light. Now, just one last little tip. Volumetrics are mathematically heavy, and they can introduce a lot of noise or graininess into your render. So to get smooth light rays, if you find that your renders are suddenly looking more grainy, you might need to increase your samples. So you go back to your cycles render settings, and I have my max sample set to 128. The default in Blender now is 4096, and that's probably enough to get a pretty smooth render. I would probably need to increase this in order to improve my final output. I hope this is helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Happy blending.